3 suspects are expected to appear in the Soshanguve Magistrates Court north of Pretoria in connection with the case that's dubbed Space Cookies. The 3 allegedly supplied learners from the Pulamamadibogo primary school in Soshanguve with muffins that were laced with dagga. Now, this resulted in over 90 learners from grades R to 7 complaining of nausea, stomach cramps and vomiting. For more on this story, let's cross live to SABC News reporter Waone-Mothoa. Molemo, thank you so much for joining us. What can we expect from the court proceedings this morning?
Good morning. Indeed, we are at the Soshanguve Magistrates Court, where 3 suspects who have been charged with attempted murder in the case that we saw, happening. The incident that we saw happening about 2 weeks ago, where about 90 learners, had to be taken to different medical facilities, after being fed with dagga-laced muffins, started, manifesting symptoms, of not being well. And we also, have heard some of the parents saying that actually they were not only, they didn't only, buy those muffins, but it was a buy one, get one free, kind of a situation. And some of them were even, forced and even slept, for them, to buy those muffins. We actually are now going to be joined by the education.
All right, unfortunately, we've lost our reporter there, Molemo Waone-Mothoa. She is reporting on, of course, that story where that has been dubbed, where a case involving space cookies, where learners at a school were actually served muffins that were laced with dagga. We're going to try and reestablish that link and, of course, get back to you. All right, and of course, we also understand that the 90 learners were from grades R to 7, and they started complaining of nausea, stomach cramps, as well as vomiting. And I wanted to ask her if the education department has actually weighed in on the matter. And as she was about to talk to us, I think she was about to be joined by a guest from the education department. Molemo, please go ahead.
Yes, we actually are now going to be joined by Steve Mabona, to get us some more info on, what, is expected this morning from the department side. What is it that, you are expecting from this, the proceedings this morning?
Now, from the department's perspective, we are monitoring the case very closely. As you know, that there's so many children that are involved in this case. And we are much interested in knowing what is it that is going to be happening. We know that 3 suspects are appearing. There's an expectation that they will add more charges, but we are very much comforted with the work that the law enforcement agencies are putting in this case. And we are hopeful that, suspects will be brought to book so that it becomes a deterrent to anyone that will want to come in our space, expose our children to such danger. I mean, we could have been talking something if they were not saved by the medical practitioners in our facilities, including the hospital. Those that were discharged, I mean, they were bad. So we are hopeful that the law will take its course.
And we also understand that there were 3, who actually, had to be, checked for a while at the hospital. How are they doing now?
Well, we are interacting with the parents very closely. The information at our disposal that they are better. We are quite hopeful that by the time we open next week, learners will then be, healthy, so that they can then continue the process of being taught. But the support will continue, because remember, we were supporting them. Our psycho support was at the school. We've agreed with them that we need to go back to the school when they open. School opens, then we need to go there and then support the learners and the school at its entirety.
And talking about support and the schools opening next week, Steve, parents already, have expressed concerns about the safety of their children, and we saw what also happened yesterday in Soweto. What does this, tell about the safety of learners in schools?
The sad part is that both incidents occurred outside us as a department. I mean, the one that you are mentioning, where 2 learners died and 2 are currently in hospital. Allegedly, they bought cookies and a juice in one spaza shop, which we are saying as the department, parents need to work with us. Let's make sure that our children are safe at all times. We know what is it that they are doing, where they are going. And for the SGBs, we'll overemphasize the fact that governance belongs to them. So they need to make sure that what is sold outside or in the precinct of our schools, coming back to this Soshanguve matter, they know who's selling, what is being sold, so that if it's criminals or people who have criminal intentions who will then be harming our children, then probably the law enforcement agencies must be called upon to make sure that we stop those people. So we will re-emphasize the fact that governance belongs to SGBs. SGBs parents is the community. The community need to work together and make sure that we don't allow anything untoward in and around our precinct.
Thank you so very much, Steve. That's Steve Mabona saying that, as the department, they are hopeful that come, next week when the schools reopen, all the children will actually be in a position to resume with their studies or with their lessons.